You just kind of think it's about this one and this one, put on the big lights at the top.
Hello and welcome to our Eco Cabin Build Journey episode 4. If you haven't watched episodes 1, 2 and 3 yet, you know what to do. If you don't know already, we're two cousins, Daniel Jack and Adam Jack. We're bringing our unique tourist accommodation concept to life and we're documenting every step of the journey. In this episode, Adam's wee dachshund puppy Honey enjoys her first visit to the warehouse. The walls, flooring and skirting are all fitted, the kitchen and exterior perforated aluminium sheet is installed, and we'll share our reaction as we find out the dreaded planning application decision. Sorry, that didn't need to be so dramatic. Anyway, be sure to stick around for that. Right, let's check into the warehouse, this time with an additional visitor.
Alrighty. Alright mate. So back down at the warehouse, we've got an extra special visitor today.
Honey's very first visit.
How do you feel about that, Honey?
She's very excited.
She's like, where's the cabin?
Where's the cabin? Where's the cabin? Let's go. Beware of the guard dog.
It's funny whenever we drop in with Honey because productivity at the workshop drops from 100 to 0 as soon as we arrive. It's no secret that these big burly builders love a cute puppy. Now that we've hooked you in with the puppy, on to the build stuff.
So busy day at the workshop today. Me and Honey have cut off to the side because anytime we try to record something there's drills going, there's pieces of wood getting cut and it's all happening, so you can't basically hear yourself think. So what do you think about the cabins then, Honey?
She's like, I don't care, I'm just licking hands.
So today was all about the wall and flooring finishes. For the walls in the main living space of the cabin, we've gone for a nice birch ply finish. The birch ply gives a nice, soft and natural finish to the inside space, which I really like. Who knew that you can make a cinematic sequence out of guys sawing up wood? As with all the materials that we've used, the birch ply is sustainably sourced and FSC certified. FSC, or the Forest Stewardship Council, certifies forests all over the world to ensure that they meet the highest environmental and social standards. Products made with wood and paper from FSC forests are marked with their well-recognised tick tree logo, which means that we can be confident that when using these materials to build our cabins, we won't be harming the world's forests. FSC certification is well recognised in the UK and has a strict focus on the farmed forest management and chain of custody side of things. Once a tree is harvested, 3 more are planted in its place. I know I was kind of droning on about that stuff there, but a sustainable build is so important to us. It's in our values. Talking of values, another one that we have at Jack's is inclusivity and accessibility. Regardless of your age, race, gender, sex, religion, sexual orientation, or level of ability, we welcome you with open arms. You can learn more about our founding values on our website. Throughout the build process, we've returned to this value time and time again. Why? Because we need to get it right first time round. Here's an example of the kind of conversations around this that we have with the architects and builders.
That's been a plan. So between now and next week.
See once the flooring goes here, is it solid kind of
You've only got.
half-inch?
You've got probably 2 mil or something.
But we were looking at the accessibility stuff for like the future cabins, especially the kind of the one with extra measures on it.
Yeah.
With the flooring, that should still be a reasonably fine surface to get up on.
But what we could do with that then is, if we know that's what it's going to be, then we can we can recess the joist so that actually sits down a bit. If it came to it.
Yeah.
Or you could do a wee taper.
Yeah, I think for this one it should be fine, but I think maybe for the cabin that's specifically accessible, we could maybe make that measure.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. But that's no problem.
If it's just like if it's less than an inch height, then we've got no problem getting over that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll be fine for everyone else.
As many of you will know, to be able to go ahead with any development in the UK, you need to secure planning permission from your local planning authority. In our case, that was North Ayrshire Council's planning department. The application is measured against the local development plan and any current priorities that North Ayrshire Council has, such as the environment and promoting tourism as we make our way out of the second lockdown. At the start of this year, we began working with the architects to put together our planning application. After many months of delays in other areas of our startup, we were finally able to submit it in late June of this year. As part of the process, relevant authorities are consulted on the plans. This included SEPA, Nature Scotland, Historic Environment Scotland, West of Scotland Archaeology Service, North Ayrshire Council's Roads Department and Scottish Water. In summary, all these responses said that this development was a sound one to go ahead in this location, and advised that some conditions should be added on to the approval relating to things like road visibility displays and archaeological evaluations. The other key part of the planning application process is a public consultation stage, where neighbour notifications are sent out to people living within a 50 metres or so radius of the site, as well as other members of the public who will have a chance to comment either in support or objection to the development. As with any proposed development, there are going to be some people for it and some people against it. It's just the nature of the beast, and this was certainly true for us as well. Now, we did have huge support from many of the local businesses and community members, where the general consensus was this would be a fantastic addition to the island. So for any of you guys that might be watching this now, again, a sincere thank you for believing in us and backing us through the process. But there was also, unfortunately, a group of people that didn't want the development to go ahead. As a result, the application was called into what's called the Planning Committee, where a panel of locally elected councillors give the plans that extra level of scrutiny and take a vote on whether the development can go ahead or not. At this point, we'd actually taken quite a big risk by cracking on with the first cabin's build before securing the planning permission. So for that reason, I'd be lying if I said there weren't any nerves around. But we were cautiously confident that what we were trying to do complied with all the relevant LDP policies and was an appropriate development for that site. Anyway, we tuned into the planning committee live. Here's how it went.
Right, okay, so I'll pass over to Angela. She can start us off and we'll do a roll call. Present.
Councillor Clarkson.
Present.
So I'll not force you to sit through the 30-minute presentation, but as you can see, the nerves were starting to kick in. Look at that nervous twitching. At this point, our fate really was out of our hands. We had done absolutely everything we could have done. All we could hope for was that the councillors would see the application for what it merited. You could have cut the atmosphere with a knife.
This is like a toss-up at the moment, I feel. There's no indication.
Councillor Foster's got a motion. Robert.
I do, thanks very much, Tom. I think it's a perfectly sound planning application, and my motion would be to approve it subject to the conditions within the report. Thanks.
Thanks for that, Robert.
One.
Do we have someone to second?
No.
I'll second the same, Chair. Okay, thanks for that, Robert. Robert seconds it. Do we have an amendment?
Oh, so no amendment?
There's no amendment. So the
That motion goes.
by Councillor Foster to grant is carried.
Carried.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Permission
We
granted.
don't need a roll call vote in this because there's no division. We've made a decision in the committee, so we will leave it at that and we can move on to the next.
And that decision is approved! Yes!
Oh dear.
What a result. I got a seat there.
That wasn't clear. That was hard to call. That was not.
That was a roller coaster.
Oh wow.
Anyway, in the bag. Superb. Buzzing. Right, beers.
Yes.
I'm actually not kidding on.
Yeah, beer. It's beer time. It's Brewsker time. Never in doubt. But at the end of the day, it's always been up on the wall in the office. What's for you will never go by you. Come on.
Well, planning granted. Cheers to that. So far, we've not had too many reasons to let our hair down, but after all of that, it'd be fair to say that some celebrations were in order. So, a few games of pool later, we rounded up the troops and hit the town. Anyways, let's head back to the cabin.
MTV, welcome to our crib. We update on the cabin. Floor's completely in, which is nice. Up until last time it was about half of it. So it's nice to see that. It continues all the way through into the bathroom, which is brilliant. Kitchen's in, which is fantastic. All looking brilliant. Have a wee look in the fridge. Unfortunately no beer, we'll need to sort that out. Other than that, we have got obviously a lot of this birch ply has been finished. This is the sort of nice area that's going to be behind the bed, and there's still some charging points to go in there. All throughout the cabin consistently we've got these wee matte black sockets, which behind you as well, they look brilliant, sort of contrasting with the birch ply.
Next up, the kitchen. When deciding which one to go with, we needed something that would fit the bill for a couple or a small family group, staying in the cabin for up to a week. So a kitchen that was fully equipped, yet compact and stylish. We chose Elfin Kitchens to supply our kitchenette. These guys supply micro kitchens to all sorts of glamping pods, converted shipping containers and student accommodation, so they were a great fit. The kitchen has a nice matte black finish, which contrasts really nicely with the bright birch ply walls, and fits perfectly with the Hive's orange, white and black colour scheme, so we're so happy with the result. Anyway, as the nails were fired into the skirting boards, Adam was overly impressed with a certain feature of the cabin, so much so that he struggled to articulate it.
Also, one thing we've been keen to do is always do... Alright. Also, such a simple thing, but for some reason just love it so much. The door that goes between the sort of living area and the bathroom is literally just this like 3 bits of thin plywood glued together, and then it's just a sort of hey. But I think that's brilliant. What do you think?
Aye, brilliant.
Give us a wave.
Quite a nice spacious kitchen, isn't it?
Yeah, hundreds of storage space. I mean, you know, fridge down there. Obviously plenty of cupboard space as well. So, I was going to stick it in the oven, but I thought that'd be too far. Do you know what's funny? I was getting made fun of yesterday for having this size of lead. Because I was at my puppy training class, and the lady, she's actually quite a character. And she was basically saying, smallest dog in the puppy training class, but biggest lead. She was like, you can tie up the Waverley with that lead.
Trust me not to do my hair the day we're filming.
No.
Did you get that in camera? The floor that extends the full length of the cabin and makes up the bathroom wet walls is made by multi-panel. They're essentially interlocking panels, sustainably produced, durable, watertight and easy clean, which fits the bill for us. As with all material suppliers, we scrutinised their eco-credentials, and I'm confident that we've made another genuinely sustainable choice for our floor and walls. The only problem was, it was really expensive. There are for sure cheaper options for flooring and walls out there, but I suppose sometimes you need to make economic compromises for the sake of the environment. Such is life. Here's an update that Adam gave on our Instagram story that day. If you're not following us already, what are you waiting for? Link in the description.
Alright everyone, we're back down at the build today. You may remember one of the front sections of the cabin was completely painted in orange, but the ultimate goal was to get it covered up with this perforated aluminium, which has just went on today and is looking very smart. Obviously it covers up the Hive orange colour to make it look a bit more muted, but very smart indeed, and we'll just take a closer look at it. So from standing over at the side here, it virtually looks completely black. But as you come around, it just starts to sort of change colour, and you can start to see the orange. The more you look at it, it kind of messes about with your eyes a wee bit actually. But if you get close, obviously you'll see that it's all of these hexagonal shapes with the orange behind it, so it looks brilliant. And thank you to the people in the close friends group who voted on this and helped us choose the pattern for that. So aye, looking brilliant. It's also probably worth noting this sort of top section here where you can see some electrical wires poking out. They're actually going to be for some external spotlights, and there's also going to be a sort of overhang that comes out to provide a little bit of shelter, so a lot of that top section there will also be covered up.
So thanks for checking out the 4th episode of our cabin build journey. Join us next time where we reveal the location of the site we've just secured planning permission for. We step foot in the site for the first time, then back at the cabin, the furniture is built and installed. And the Jack's Always Stays concept wins a £10,000 prize from the UK's biggest business funding competition, Scottish Edge. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.
So obviously it looks like we've got a couple of the electric fittings in there, so that looks like for the heat, and then that one's the